Well, hello and welcome, everybody. It is an interesting day for Indian aviation, certainly Indian military aviation, with Prime Minister Modi today deciding to fly on a Tejas fighter aircraft in Bengaluru. Remember, the Tejas is, in a sense, the bedrock of India's Atma Nirbharta ambitions as far as military aviation is concerned. It is a fairly remarkable fighter which has really evolved over the years. The government has supported the Indian Air Force, perhaps belatedly, but it still has, towards the order of 83 more advanced Tejas Mark 1A fighters. And the Indian Air Force has a proposal for 97 more Tejas Mark 1A fighters. But that's later. What we already have are two squadrons of the Tejas aircraft, 33 jets already in service, 7 more, including trainer aircraft, in other words, dual seat aircraft about to enter or in various stages of entering these two squadrons. The Prime Minister, in fact, flew on one of these newly built Tejas trainers. He was flown by an Indian Air Force pilot. And I mentioned that because it's not necessarily obvious. The Tejas is flown by pilots also of the National Flight Test Center. Some of them may not necessarily have been of the Air Force. They could have been a Navy pilot, but it was an IAF pilot who flew the Prime Minister today. Now, it is interesting that the government actually cleared Prime Minister Modi to get on, strap into a Tejas fighter and fly a sortie. Why? Because whenever the President and the Prime Minister fly, there's usually an attempt which is made to ensure that they fly in at least a twin-engined aircraft or helicopter for safety reasons. If there's a problem, then you've got a backup engine. In the case of the Tejas, there is just one engine. But the fact that the government actually went ahead and cleared the sortie has a lot to do with the fact that the Tejas has an excellent safety record, the best in the Indian Air Force, and there's a great deal of confidence among the users of the aircraft on its safety, which is why the Prime Minister was on board. I had the fortune of flying on the Tejas aircraft in 2017, the first journalist, a memory which I truly remember and always will. I suspect the Prime Minister would have been showcased some of the things which I was showcased back then, by which I mean the use of the multifunction displays, the fact that the data shown on the multifunction displays in the cockpit can be easily swapped, the fact that you can track other aircraft in the sky as well. The Prime Minister had a second Tejas fighter in the air as well. He waved to that. There was a camera over there. There was a camera in front of him in his jet as well. So a couple of basic things would have been showcased to the Prime Minister. But the fact that Narendra Modi went to Bengaluru, got this happening, is certainly a fillip for Hindustan Aeronautics, the manufacturer of the jet. For years and years, Hindustan Aeronautics has told the government, if you want more Tejas aircraft, then let's walk the talk, let's put in the money, commit to orders, and let's expand our production facilities. So there is an additional production facility of the Tejas, which is in the process of being set up. There are various companies as part of the ecosystem which are manufacturing, private companies which are manufacturing components of the Tejas. Final integration takes place at Hindustan Aeronautics, and the pace of manufacture of the jet is actually going up on the basis of the orders which have been placed. The more you place orders, you've got an economy of scale, and the more jets that you can actually churn out in a faster period of time. This has been a problem. We were building Tejas jets painfully slowly. Not so anymore. That pace has actually gone up. So you're getting up to 16 or 20 plus aircraft delivered to the Indian Air Force every year, and they'll build up on that pace as well. The future of the Tejas is very, very bright because there'll be a Tejas Mark II aircraft. It will be powered by a GE 414, a General Electric 414 engine. That's what the government had signed a deal on with General Electric, the gigantic US engine manufacturer. When the Prime Minister was recently in Washington, they will be setting up a plant in India, and the manufacture of the GE 414, which will power the Tejas Mark II in a couple of years from now, will take place over there. The Tejas Mark II and a twin-engine variant of that called the TED BF, which is a twin-engine variant in the class of the Rafale, which will also be able to operate off India's aircraft carriers. Those will be the ultimate variants of the Tejas jet. This fighter, of course, is being developed side by side with the AMCA, which is the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft of India. That is a stealth fighter with some different and, in a sense, more advanced technologies, but that's still several years away from entering service. The prototype is not out of that at the moment. But the bulk of your air force or will be two aircraft, the Sukhoi 30 already in service and the Tejas. The Tejas Mark 1A, the Tejas Mark 2, the twin-engine deck-based fighter and its Indian Air Force Avatar, which will be the most advanced variant of the Tejas. It will be an offshoot of the Tejas, fairly different aircraft, will be in service with the Indian Air Force well beyond the 2050s. So this is a platform that India and the Indian Air Force has reposed its faith on, and therefore exciting days for the Indian Air Force if the Prime Minister shows up, gets on, straps into a Tejas, goes for a sortie. It sends a strong signal that India is backing this project. Vishnu Som for NDTV.